A lot can change in a year. And if you feel the guidance to walk away from something, I want you to realize that so much can change in a year. A year ago, almost to the date, a couple days past a year, I walked away from a 9-year relationship, had no idea where life was going to take me, had no idea where I was going to be even living, ended up in a transitional housing situation, which ended up being really difficult, ended up being around people who continued to criticize my way of living as if I was somehow living wrong because I was just moving with a very unconventional way of being. But all of it led me to a lot of growth, a lot of learning to trust myself, and that is something that can never be taken away from me. Because once you've been through hard shit and you've only been able to rely on yourself, you learn to trust yourself with a different type of energy. Where other people can have their opinions, they can say you're living your life wrong. Let them. Because you're here for your life. To move with your autonomy. To have agency over your own choices. And that is going to look different than other people. And some people are not going to get that. Some people are just going to be triggered as fuck by it. Because you moving with the divine audacity and level of autonomy that you're moving with sometimes will rub up against other people and reflect to them where they're not moving from their own autonomy, and then they're angry at you, thinking that you're the reason why they're not moving with their autonomy, or they're just angry in general because you're reflecting a part of them that they don't want to look at. And it's not like you're like intentionally putting that in front of their face. Like, it's just you being yourself radiates every deeper integrated lesson of wisdom. It's like it's literally like worn in your aura. So you don't have to put it in front of other people's face. Like, it's just in front of their face because it's in your energy. It's in your essence. People see it. And people fucking feel it. People feel the depth that you have fucking traversed to be who you are now. And I need you to take a moment and realize that, like, you have actually arrived. Like, you've had to go through so much growth, so many trials, so many challenges and dark, uncomfortable times to be this version of you. And I don't think you've, like, fully let it land yet. That, like, this version of you, you can fucking trust her. Because she got you here. Every past version of yourself that you might be judging or criticizing and thinking wasn't, like, refined enough, or whatever other narrative you have about whatever disempowering narrative you have about the past versions of you. You need to realize those past versions of you carried you through time to this version of you now. And recognizing that will create a different level of self-connection with yourself across time and beyond time. And only the right people are going to find this. So if it found you, hi. You're not walking alone. You're not unseen. People see you, and they see you very clearly. Some people pretend that they don't, because actually seeing you means that they have to acknowledge all the parts of themselves that they have felt disempowered by, or all the versions of themselves that they've tried to shove in the metaphysical, spiritual, metaphorical stepchild closet. Because when you embrace all of yourself, like I said, that energy is literally carried in your aura. And so other people then, when they're around you, it's like they can feel through the reflection of just you being yourself. They can feel that. And it reflects back to them where they're not moving with that. And so you've probably thought for a long time that, like, you were just a triggering person. You were a polarizing person. And it's like, no, you're an integrated person. There was never anything wrong with you. Ever. You were just around people that were triggered by you being you. And I'm so sorry you've had to go through that. Because that shit sucks. I think of how a year ago my whole life changed. And there was so much uncertainty to get to where I am now. But last night, I literally sat in my living room on my floor with my cat, and I just cried, realizing, wow, the very things I have prayed for years, I am now living. And it wasn't some big grandiose thing, you know? It's like I was just praying to have my own living space and have the ability to live with my own autonomy and agency over my own life. And to protect my peace. And I know whoever's listening to this, you're someone who you have gone to fucking hell and back for the peace that you now have. And that's why you protect it so diligently and so sacredly, as you should. And any person who tries to make you feel wrong for protecting that is someone you need to remove. Over the last year, I realized how many people were not my friends. I realized how many people never had my best interest in mind. I realized how many people I had to remove from my life. And that was painful. But you want to know what's more painful? Cutting off parts of yourself to keep the peace with other people. That's way more painful. Because that has a cost, and it's costing you your peace in order to keep the peace in a dynamic with another person. Notice I said dynamic and not connection. Because connection has a collaborative energy to it. An understanding for both sides. A respect for both sides. For both parties, let's say. Dynamics are one-sided. Dynamics expect you to compromise. Dynamics expect you to keep the peace at the sacrifice of your own. And that's not actually healthy. So I want you to just take some time and maybe sit back and realize all the things that you fucking prayed for that you are now living. Because gratitude, the universe has a praise kink. Gratitude is one hell of a drug. And I notice every time I come back to gratitude in my life, it has gotten me through the hardest times in my life. And it keeps me in a state of absolute joy and awe in the good times too. Because it keeps you in this place of awe. Of like, wow. Thank you that I could get groceries. Thank you that I could get rid of these old pillows and buy new ones. Thank you for my French vanilla cappuccino on an 80-degree day just because I fucking wanted to. Thank you for the freedom to express my autonomy, my free will, and all the divinely audacious ways I want to. You've made it. And it may not be to the bigger goal that you've wanted to reach, but like, have you ever taken a moment to stop and realize that you've always kept moving the goalpost? It's like, oh, you got this thing, and then you move the goalpost to the next thing, and you never really took any time to actually be grateful for all the prayers that you are living in now, that you once cried over, that you once cried for. Because gratitude just brings more into our life for us to be grateful for. You can't be feeling disempowered and grateful at the same time. You gotta pick one. Pick the state you want to be in. I guess that's just my little chat today. I went on a nice long walk. And it was just kind of dawning on me how so many people in my life at one point were telling me that I was living my life the wrong way. You know, telling me I would never get to where I wanted to be doing it the way I was doing it. And it was like, you got to do it this way. And I'm like, well, you're not where I want to be, so why would I be following the way you're going? Because some of us, we are here to forge our own path, walk our own way. Craft our own equation to live life by that takes into account our own unique variables that we may have to account for. And for some of us, that's the path. And so I just want to remind you today, you've never been living your life wrong. And that you've actually arrived. And it's time for you to take a moment to actually recognize that and like really let that land in your body. I love you. We'll chat again soon.